Morning, everyone, and welcome to East Hampton Village Board Meeting. Today is June 18th, 2021. And before we get the meeting started, I'd like to have a pledge of allegiance. Chief Terza.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Chief. All right, so we've got a lot of things on the agenda. I just have a couple of announcements to start off with. Town Pond's looking great. They took the fencing down and they should be resodding that main area very shortly. I know Chris has a couple of updates with the beach, so if you could give us that, Chris.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to let everyone know that the beach is amazing. Right today, as a matter of fact, I believe the middle school's up at the beach with their beach day, and it's a really great site. So if you have a chance, come up here and check that out. The parking, the monthly parking passes so far, I believe an update on that is June, we sold about half. July is sold out. And August, the last I checked, there was about 30 or so available. Every Saturday or the past 2 weekends, we've had some nice weather and there's been no issues. I've been checking with the beach managers and the lot attendants. So it's been great. Lot 1 and 2 have been the same as always. There's been no issues and no occupancy issues with lot 1 or 2. So that's a big success. I mean, the morale and the staff up here, they're doing a great job. They're all happy. The bathrooms are super clean. The Chowder Bowl is a huge success. Everywhere I go, people are praising the new establishment, the Beach Hut on Main. The food's great. So I encourage everyone to go out there and check it out. And all is well. So, the last thing I wanted to say was that with the new jet ski, last year we only had 3 part-time jet ski operators. This year we've got 10 full-time jet ski operators. So things are looking really good up there. So so thank you. All's well.
All right, great. Yeah, I've been up there a few times. It's terrific. Marcos, did you have a graph or something you wanted to show with the
yeah, that you can show. It's a graph of the daily beach passes. Jody, you can put it up if you want. And it basically shows the blue on the left is the 2019, which is the full year that we had with daily beach passes. But you can see what we pitched to the board, the idea of the monthly beach passes that would free up space in our parking lots, which obviously we can't really test out until July and August. But as you can see, it's headed in the right direction where very few dailies are being sold. The lots are open. And we're certainly making more revenue out of it. So I think that's all good.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Next, Sandra, did you want to update us with the Newtown and the plantings? And
yes. Good morning, everybody. I'm talking about DPW. We have the enclosures. 3 enclosures are almost done in Newtown Lane. And we just started in Main Street. Also, the flags are up and they look beautiful. And next week we'll have all the flower baskets coming out. So the village is gonna look amazing. So we're so excited about that.
Terrific, thank you. It's gonna be great. Let's see, let's jump right to Chief Tracy.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Mayor and board. This morning, I am very pleased to announce that the board has approved the promotion of Detective Jennifer Dunn from detective to sergeant. And it's a great day for the village and the department, and obviously for Jen and her family. Real quickly, I'll tell you a little bit about Jen and her career. She started with the Village of East Hampton as a public safety dispatcher in 2006. She did a great job. She was very well received by both departments. And she took a full-time police officer position with us in October of 2013. She excelled in patrol. She did a great job. And after several years, she was moved into the community response unit, which specializes in enforcement and public service and unusual calls and so forth. She excelled there as well, outperforming her fellow officers in almost every category that we do statistics on, excuse me. And in following her stint in crew, she was promoted to detective in 2018. And she, again, was a big asset to the department. 2019, right in the heels of that, she received the Kiwanis Club Police Officer of the Year Award, along with Detective Eldridge and Police Officer, now Sergeant Sean Christian, for a CPR save during the Spring Festival of 2019. And in February 20, she was promoted to detective. I have to say, aside from the statistical and performance that is measured by the department, items that we don't measure are your work ethic, your dedication to the public, your compassion, your sense of humor, which everyone knows I value very greatly. This is an officer who excels and.
Okay. We've lost the chief. He's on vacation in California, so I think we've lost the connection with him. I'm hoping we lost connection because he doesn't look well right now. But I'll finish up. And when I was chief, obviously I'm the one who hired Jen, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm very proud of her today on this wonderful and well-deserved promotion. So congratulations, Jen.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next up is Jack Patrickoff from the Mayor's Youth Council. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Mr. Balladrone and I and the mayor have been planning a beautification project for the village since the beginning of this year. And we started looking into it, but ultimately decided that such project would be more suitable for the summer months. We also identified litter and trash as the main problem that we should be able to tackle over the summer. And the two areas that we would like to do that in would be Herrick Park in the downtown, and then Ocean Avenue into Main Beach. So we've decided to create two groups, two separate groups with as many people as we can get to once a week on Wednesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Go along and pick up trash and clean up our village. And after these will start as early as June 30th, maybe July 7th. We haven't fully decided which date, but after the end of the summer and after we've gone through and completed these pickups, we'll be able to present a comprehensive assessment of the problem of trash in the village and how we can address it in the future, and the sources of the problem in the past. And it'd be a great opportunity for young men and women all from the village to collect community service hours, as well as just helping out the village.
Thanks, Jack. That's terrific. And you're in Arizona, right? So
Yeah.
had to get up early for this. So I really appreciate all your help. Terrific young man. And we look forward when you get back. We'll see you when you get back. Marcos, is there a, if other young people would like to join, should they just email you or should they email Jack?
They can contact Village Hall, and we'll have a list here at the front counter that will get a hold of Jack.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah. And Jack already has several names, by the way, including Rose's daughter, that we're going to start reaching out to now that it's kind of fully formed. But it'll be, Jack, what's the first Wednesday? It's 4 to 6?
4 to 6. I think we're going to do July 7th as the first Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks very much, Jack.
Thank you.
All right, next up is our good friend, Nancy Atlas. How are you,
Good
Nancy?
morning, everyone. Good morning. Lovely. Good morning, board. Good morning, Mayor. So I'm speaking on behalf of your vision that you want to talk about it first, or do you want me to jump right into it?
No, we'll let Sandra jump on. Sandra, can you jump on?
Yes.
Just talk about this idea.
Yes, we had an idea of creating more community. And by that way, we were doing summer sessions, which were concerts at Main Beach in the afternoons, one day of the week, so it doesn't create too much chaos. So we decided to go on Tuesdays. I think it's starting from 6 to 8, if I'm not mistaken. We finished that. But it's going to be a lot of fun for the community to come together and hear some music and spend some time.
Yeah, so we're working in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce will be the sponsor or the person obtaining the permits. And the Talk House is putting all of the lineup together. And Nancy has helped in that respect and will be the opening act as well on July 6th, correct? That's the first Tuesday we're doing?
Correct. Yeah. This
Yeah,
is just such a win-win-win for so many things. And I hope that the board, I thank them for taking the time to just hear a musician's standpoint. It has been such a brutal year and a half for the arts. And one of the things that I loved about Jerry getting on board was that he was committed to bringing art back to the village. So this is just so wonderful. And as somebody with 25, 30 years under my belt of doing things like this, you have to understand I've done a lot of shows on the green for Montauk. It's just a win-win-win. You have the ability to support your musicians. You have families that work on the weekends that are going to be able to come out on a Tuesday night if this is able to go through. You have musicians that are being hired to do it. And it just really brings together that beautiful blend of community and tourism and my barking dog, which is just almost like you can't time it well enough. But for everyone's consideration, I really do think that in my experience, this is a slam dunk. Like the location is stunning and everything about it is what we live out here for. So I hope it goes through and is supported and that everybody's on board because I think it's just great vision, Jerry. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be terrific to have the community be able to come up to Main Beach and listen. I think it's 6:30 to 8, Sandra, is the times that we were asked for from the chamber. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it just adds so much for people to go and have memories and sit on the beach and have dinner and listen to some great music. It's going to be a really fun night.
I think it's going to be wildly, I think it's just going to be great. And the thing is, you have the parking, you have to have the vision for it. But for me, when you mentioned it, everything about it just ticked off all the boxes about a success in the right way. Small kids on the beach, distanced still as we acclimate, fresh air, live music. You're not upsetting anyone. I mean, with all of the people, I know Nick's going to probably look to Winston and Gene and other bands out here that have put their time in. I think I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, thank you so much for organizing it, Nancy. Really appreciate it.
You got it.
We'll be there. We'll be there on the 6th. I can guarantee that.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you for coming on.
And I know before you go, Nancy, I know that we wanted to put a proposed banner. We got several sponsors, right, that we'd lined up, Mr. Mayor.
Great.
Right.
Make sure
Where
those
are they
artists
going to
get
be
paid
setting up,
for that
Mr. Mayor? They're going to be setting up at the pavilion, broadcasting out towards the beach?
Yes, exactly. Yep. If we can use.
I'll be there.
What's that?
I'll be there.
You want to go, right?
It's going to be fun. So, yeah, that's the plan. So that'll be great.
And Jody, could you put it up? Because I want to make sure that the banner there, because there's a banner involved, and I want to make sure the board sees that as well.
Yeah, and that's all the sponsors. It's nicely done. All right. Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy.
Great. Have a great day, everyone. I'm looking forward to it. See you on the 6th.
See you on the 6th.
All right. Take care.
All right. Next is Steve Glick from Hamptons.com. Is that right, Steve?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Good morning. That's right.
Yeah,
Steve
Steve
from Hamptons.com.
Has partnered up with the village and his company is giving us the free Wi-Fi at the beaches. And now we're going to be extending that into the business core. And we're really thrilled to have you on, Steve. And we can't tell you how thankful we are for getting this all done for us. No cost to the village residents. It's just incredible.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's a big undertaking. There's a lot of moving parts, and we're excited to be able to provide this to the village of East Hampton.
Steve, before you go into the free Wi-Fi or branding or any of that we've got on deck to talk about, can you just give us an update on the on the build out right now for
Sure.
Wi-Fi?
No problem. Currently, we have the Wi-Fi working in the main beach. We've been working with Maidstone Golf Course to be able to install some equipment on their facility, on their pavilion, to get the Wi-Fi access over there to Egypt and Wyborg. We were having issues getting over the dunes at Georgica Beach, so we're trying to figure out a solution there. And at 2 Mile Hollow Beach, we are waiting for Optimum to really figure out how to run a line. That's been one of the issues we've been experiencing in other municipalities, where there's no Optimum that goes to these beaches. So Optimum needs to come out. They're the internet provider. They need to survey the area and figure out the best course of action to run a line. And there are some hard costs involved. And either Optimum will pay for those costs, or Hamptons.com splits in the cost to run that line. So a lot of it is we're waiting, we're in a waiting period for Optimum to give us that cost. But it is currently working in the main beach and Wyborg and Egypt. We are looking into putting it into the village, into the main streets in East Hampton. So that will require, the highest point location to put the antenna, and then have little tiny access points throughout the village, so we can have it in Herrick's Park, up and down main streets, and to be able to provide free Wi-Fi to the public that comes into the village. And local businesses are also allowed to, tap in and use that network as well. So that's something that we're working through and trying to get that up in the next couple upcoming weeks.
Terrific.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Steve.
You know what I'd like to say, excuse me, but if people are reading the newspaper this week and the past couple of weeks with COVID and just the influx of people out here, I find it refreshing that we have an opportunity to actually make the infrastructure better. We all know that connecting to Wi-Fi and using your phone is very difficult in the Hamptons, especially East Hampton. And this is a really step in the right direction. I know that it's very hard, but there's a huge demand to connect, and it's a problem out here. So I'm very thankful and I'm excited about the fact that as a village, we can put something forward to say, hey, we're trying to help this problem. So I'm all in favor in this. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. So we noticed there was, an issue out here, like you said, and we're trying to find a solution and, work through it. And it's also good for cell service too, because you can connect to the Wi-Fi and then do Wi-Fi calling and be able to make that phone call. So if you're on the beach or in town and it's an emergency and you need to make a phone call, you have that ability to do that.
Right. And it also is a major health and safety factor as an upgrade to the beaches, especially because if anyone knows, it was very hard to make a phone call. What if there's a distress call or a swimmer in distress or a lifeguard emergency or a police emergency or anything? So again, I think there's a couple things at play here, and I'm excited about it. So thank you, Steve. This is a big upgrade for the beaches and the village.
I just wanted to ask one thing too. I agree with what's been said. It's certainly, a step in the right direction for public safety to be able to have the free Wi-Fi at the beaches. We all are supportive of that. And I thank you for your efforts to get the Wi-Fi at all of the beaches. We've had them for the last 2 years at Main Beach. And then last year, as you know, Steve, probably, we had it at Georgica. And so I'm hearing today that there is no Wi-Fi at Georgica at the moment, or are we still relying maybe on the old system that was in play?
At Georgica, we were noticing that the Wi-Fi wasn't getting over the dunes. It was in the parking lot area. To be able to get it over the dune and to be able to stream it, you have to really have a high access point. And that's something we're working on. And it may be as simple as, using that flagpole to be able to install the antenna over there. I didn't want to do that. I don't like installing equipment onto flagpoles. I'd rather have something separate from that. So that's something that I'm just trying to work out and working on drawing up a diagram to make another presentation because there will be a piece of equipment that would be necessary for that beach location.
Right.
Rose, you're correct. We have not eliminated the old Wi-Fi. We've just kept Georgia going.
Yeah, the mechanism was in the flagpole last year because of the issue with the dune. And we certainly didn't want to put an antenna in the dune and all of that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's within our purview to do so.
Correct.
And we wanted to mitigate the aesthetics, of an antenna and so forth. It's something for us to keep in mind. It's important to us. So yes, I agree that we all want Wi-Fi, but there's other factors, that we have to consider as well. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to make sure that there was Wi-Fi that was working at Georgica. And I had been at the beach several times last year at Georgica, and I never had a problem with the Wi-Fi. So maybe you will end up using the flagpole as we did in the past. So. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Steve, I had a question about Main Beach. Recently, there was a weather station put up there. And it really, with all the antennas, it makes the peak of Main Beach look like a Russian trawler, doing intelligence collecting opportunities. Is there any way we could relocate that weather station to kind of unclutter that area?
Certainly, I could work it out with Jimmy over there to try to figure out the best placement for that weather station. I would have to go there and talk to Jimmy and figure out what makes sense. You do need it up high to be able to read and see the ocean and get the waves. The wind and get the
10 meters is the standard.
Okay, but certainly, we could certainly, if you feel that it's like the placement of that is getting.
It just makes it look very cluttered up at that peak.
I understand.
Yeah, Tiger, you have sort of a point, but the way it was before, it interfered with the pitch of the roof, and so they had to raise it slightly because the wind wasn't accurate. There's also, if you don't know this, but the Coast Guard has antennas up there that we can't touch. Marcos, I think, knows more about that than I do, but there's some stuff up there that that we have no control over as well. So
correct. Yeah,
I understand the government antennas up there. That came before the board before, and I believe that that's just one short vertical antenna. But I think that if we could just move that weather station, that would declutter that area a fair amount. And I don't think that we could put it on the back of the building for the reason you say, with the interference from the wind. But the standard for anemometers is 10 meters, or roughly 30 feet up. And I'm sure we can find another location that would be every bit as good.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, well, I want to make sure that we discuss the branding. So if we can just start at the beginning, when Mr. Mayor, when you took over last September, I think it was at roughly the same time. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, that Saunders also purchased Hamptons.com at that time, or roughly around that time, from the let's call it the former owner, right? The former owner had no contract, no deal in place. It was just, I guess, a live stream to News 12, Newsday.com. So there's been branding at the beach for, I don't know, 5 to 10 years now already existing on that live cam.
Correct.
So the deal that you and I cut was a deal that was basically going to put free Wi-Fi in place with zero branding, a deal that would bring free Wi-Fi to all the village beaches. And then now, I think just as a recent with the, I think the investments that you've made into it, you reached out and you wanted some branding out of it. So I want you to can you please explain to the board what Saunders would like an amendment now in our contract?
Sure, certainly. So, it's been a significant investment installing these equipment, adding additional antennas, and making sure that the Wi-Fi is working with the most powerful network possible from Optimum. And, the whole point of it is that, we are doing the service, free of charge, and we're expanding it, and we're able to offer this now in other municipalities where we signed a deal with Southampton Town, offering the same thing to all their beaches. And that's from, West Hampton to Southampton, including Sag Harbor, and also Southampton Village at their Cooper Beach location. And it's the same type of concept that we currently have set up there at Main Beach. And what it is that, to be able to, access the Wi-Fi the Hamptons.com Wi-Fi, we're asking that someone could just simply put their email address to accept, to connect, and then log into the Wi-Fi connection. Once they log in, they're able to use the Wi-Fi to look up any website and do anything they want on their phone or computer device. So now what happens? The question goes, well, what happens with that email address? So that email address goes to the Hamptons.com and they'll get a welcome email. And we made it really clear in the welcome email that it's big bold that says, if you do not want to receive any further communications from Hamptons.com, you can simply click here to unsubscribe. And the welcome email is just educating them on the new designed website of Hamptons.com, which is launching July 1st. The new website is going to include, it's pretty much about everything that's happening in the Hamptons, from events, sponsorships, local charities, restaurants offerings, like anything that is going to be a local organization or an event community that we want to put out there. That's what's going to be on the new Hamptons.com. So that email is going to be a rundown of, hey, this is what's happening this week in the Hamptons. And if they don't, say they decide, they didn't read that first email, and now all of a sudden the following week they get another email. Every single email that they receive, there's always going to be an opportunity for them to opt out and no longer receive that email. And once they do that, they'll never receive another email from Hamptons.com again. We're not going to do any spamming. We're not going to send them obnoxious emails at all. It's all elegantly, but designed in a way to promote the local businesses out here in East Hampton and throughout the Hamptons. So all we simply ask is that, you just be able to allow us to put an email, the user to put an email address in. That's the only information we're asking for. We're not asking for phone numbers, addresses, names, or anything like that. A simple email address. And then they have the opportunity to opt out, once they receive that first email or any email thereafter.
I have no problem with it. Does anybody have questions?
Yeah, is there a way, Steve, that we could make it an opt-in?
Well, they're going to receive out. They're going to receive the email, and we can do it. Yeah, I think we can do something like that. Where we say, hey, would you like to receive further emails from Hamptons.com? Click here. If you would like to opt out of an email, click here as well. So I could design something like that where they can opt in. And, my goal is to encourage them to want to subscribe to it. They're going to get some good, useful information. And we open it up to all the towns and villages where if you guys have an event like Nancy Atlas and you're trying to promote it and bring some good to the community, you can just always let the Hamptons.com team know about it, and we'll get that into that weekly email blast. But if that's a concern of yours to be able to have them opt in, we can certainly design and put that into the initial email that they receive.
And I just know that there are a lot of people that are concerned about entering an email.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel that that's, harvesting information that, they don't want to give out.
Oh,
I
Steve,
understand.
would
They don't have to
opting
use
in
the
be
email.
not using the internet or the free Wi-Fi?
Correct. There is a term of use that they could always read. When you log in, there's a term of use links. And in that links, it will say that by putting in your email address and accepting the terms, you understand you'll get an email from Hamptons.com. So they're agreeing to that when they do the terms, and then from there they can opt out. We don't sell these email addresses. We're not this big corporate company where it's going to be used for other entities. This is a local business. Hamptons.com, I think, has been around for 27 years. And Saunders Broadcasting, we've been out here for close to over 12 years now.
I don't have a problem with this at all. I think it encourages local businesses. And if people have a problem with it, then they don't have to use it. They can use their 5G and not use the free Wi-Fi. I think we're beating a dead horse here, in my opinion.
I agree with Chris. We're having a great benefit by having this Wi-Fi. Just putting the email should not be a problem.
Of course, we all agree that the Wi-Fi is important, Steve, for public safety. And I appreciate what Saunders has done to put the Wi-Fi in at the beaches. I'm just concerned that people are going to be reluctant to put in their personal email, and then they won't connect to the Wi-Fi. And the whole reason that we, have initiated this program is that so someone in an emergency situation can use, the Wi-Fi to dial 911 and call the police when there's someone in distress. So if someone goes to one of our beaches and they say, oh, I don't want to really put my email in, I don't know how it's going to be used, people are reluctant for a variety of reasons. We received an email from someone in the public just recently, the board did. So that's my concern, is it's kind of, counterintuitive to what we're trying to do in a way. Although I agree with everyone that, it's nice what's happening here. I like what we're doing. And, the Hamptons.com website is really nice, and it informs people about what's going on locally. But I think first and foremost, the reason we're doing the Wi-Fi is for public safety. And so that if there's an emergency, someone can use the Wi-Fi calling for an emergency. And if someone doesn't log on, that could be the one person, because they're reluctant to give their personal email address. Last year when we had Wi-Fi at the beaches, there was a standard clause to accept the conditions and such, and that was it. There was no step to enter your email, your personal email.
Yeah, Steve, I'm not trying to criticize your business model.
Okay.
I understand that you guys are spending a certain amount of money, which is not insignificant, to get this stuff up and running. I also know that, it's great Wi-Fi. I mean, I think I got 190 MIPS the other day. It's nice and fast. But I'm really concerned about the harvesting of emails. And I realize that you say now that you will only use them for purposes that we have already discussed. If we're going to modify the contract, perhaps that could be put into the contract. Mm-hmm. And maybe on your splash screen where it comes up, maybe just say, please enter your email. It will not be used for any purpose other than sending you one email that you can opt out from. And would that opt out, would that have to be every time?
No.
So if I go to the beach and log on today, enter my email, you send me an email, I say I want to opt out. Every time I enter my email from then, you will just know that I logged on and not send me an email.
Correct.
Okay, what do you do with the information of how many times people log on and at what beach?
Nothing. There's no, I don't need to know how many times they're logging in. I don't need to know where that information is. I don't need that information. Basically,
is that stored? Is that information logged?
No, not that I'm aware of. We have no access to that. We just, if it is, it's not something that we use. I could find out for sure, but we don't store that. We're not looking to use any of that.
Well, I think your service is valuable to village residents and visitors. And if people have to submit an email to get free Wi-Fi, I'm not happy about it. It's not what we talked about, but I understand that maybe that's kind of the cost of doing business here. And Vince, when we redo the contract, you could build some strong safeguards into that for.
Sure, I'd be happy to. And you mentioned the contract, trustee, and I think it's important to keep this in context too, because one of what initially drove this to me, as I understood it, was that there were these cameras on public property, and there was never any authority that anybody could find for it. Okay, so nobody could tell me. And it doesn't mean nobody knows, but nobody could tell me how they got there, how they were installed, who installed them, and under what authority. And apparently they've been there for any number of years. So what the agreement did, in addition to the Wi-Fi, was it provided transparency with respect to whatever the agreement was for those cameras, because now there's a contract, as you know, trustee, you had it in front of you, you voted on it. It also protects public safety, because now there's a procedure in place whereby the building inspector inspects any installation, makes sure it's up to code, make sure that no one from the public will get hurt by this prying loose from public property, protects the public property as well to make sure that it's installed in a way that there's no damage. And the Wi-Fi was the additional public benefit that was received in exchange for permitting the license for the camera. So I just want, the record to be clear, but yeah, I'm happy to take what's been done today, incorporate it into any proposed amendment, and we'll come back to you with it when we reach it.
Terrific. The thing about it is, I think it's a small thing that they're asking for. It's a small, for what they're contributing to the village and the village residents. I mean, if we go back in time, the village board, before we were here, talked about Wi-Fi for, I think, 3 years before they finally got 2 beaches done. And that flagpole was somewhere about $13,000 to install. And quite frankly, the Wi-Fi was not very good. I think Chris can attest to that as well. So this is just a very small price to pay. And to Rose's point, hopefully if somebody is that worried about their email, hopefully there's more than one person on the beach when this emergency happens. But, I don't think we should expect Saunders and Hamptons.com to provide this huge service to us for nothing in return. I think this is a fair, simple return that they're asking for. So that's my opinion.
Gary, I would agree with you 100%. The camera is all over News 12 and Newsday, and everyone sees it, and it's a huge benefit to the village. I know that Noah and Stony Brook, Hofstra, and Woods Hole also use the camera for beach studies, and I know the police use it. And so, again, I agree with everything you said, and it's to ask them to provide the Wi-Fi and the cameras for nothing, it's not a good deal for them. I mean, let's be honest, they're not going to want to do it, and they're going to pull out of the deal, or God knows whatever is going to happen. So I have no problem with the email. Again, in my opinion, if you don't want to use it, then don't use it. There is 5G or whatever, but I think that it's not a bad deal for the village at all.
I agree. Also, there's a way not to provide your personal email. Nowadays, every time we go shopping or we go to an airport, they ask for our emails. So basically what I did was created a separate email that I give to everybody. It's easy to go into Gmail or any other platform. Just create a new email, and that would be your shopping or your airport email or your main beach email. And then you don't have to worry about everybody having your personal email. So that's another way of going around it. I believe.
As I said, I'm not against Hamptons.com and Saunders making any money here. I'm very concerned about data privacy. And, these days when you get hacks and stuff, I'm very concerned about that. If we're asking, and Sandra's got a real point with the disposable email, but I mean, I guess we all have them, but that kind of negates the point of what they're trying to do with those emails. So.
And I just want to add, as far as the Wi-Fi at the beaches, Mayor, you're right. We had 2 beaches with Wi-Fi, one installed in 2019 at Main Beach, and then again in 2020. But, since Tiger and I got on the board in 2018, that was something we fought for, and, we got it done relatively quickly and wanted the other beaches done too. We appreciate that Saunders stepped up to offer the free Wi-Fi in the other beaches. And as I said, I go to Georgica last year many times, and I always had great Wi-Fi. So I had a different experience than Trustee Minardi.
My Wi-Fi never worked at any of the beaches, especially at Main Beach. It would kick you off after 30 seconds. So, maybe we have different phones. I don't know.
Yeah.
I won't say operator error.
I think we've beaten this to death. So we're going to move on. Hugh, I forgot to, Steve, I thank you for coming on and
Thank you.
And explaining everything. And
thank you all. Thank you all for having me. We're excited about it. And if anybody has any questions in the future, you can always reach me. I'm local. I'm here.
Thanks.
So thank you all.
Thank you. Hugh, I passed over you, so I'm circling back. Did you have anything?
Well,
Any
we have
words of wisdom?
We have Julianne, Julianne
Yes.
Lester. So let's go to Julianne.
Julianne Lester, hi, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
go ahead, give us your presentation. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, no problem. So this summer, we're going to be doing 2 different lantern tours on Saturday evenings, and they're going to depart at 7 p.m. from Home Sweet Home. And we're going to do the south end of Main Street in July and a more northern section of Main Street in August. And my favorite spot for the south end is Pudding Hill and the cemetery on the Village Green. And for the more northern end, my favorite spots are Village Hall and the Clinton Academy. So the tours should be super interesting. I have had so much fun preparing for the tours, and I have learned so much about our town's history, which is so important to keep alive. And I hope everybody gets a chance to come so that we can keep learning the story of our town and its history. I would like to sincerely thank Mr. King for all of his guidance and assistance in creating this tour. And I'd like to thank Mayor Larson and the rest of the village board for making this possible.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We were, Hugh and I have been talking about this for a while, about having tours on a more regular basis. And, you know, when you came along, you made it easy for us. So thanks for doing that. And we'll definitely join you. When's the first one?
I believe, yeah.
No, I'm sorry, July 10th. Julianne won't be here for that. She'll be at a conference. So Jackie and Veronica and myself will be doing that one. But then when Julianne comes back, she will be doing the tours.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hugh, do you have anything else?
No, I just want to thank Julianne's parents also, who have been very supportive of this. And they're going to actually be coming along on the tours, right, Julianne?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's all.
Well, Hugh, don't forget now, the next meeting, July 30th, we're going to have the presentation dedication for Mayor Rio, correct?
Is there a meeting on July 1st?
Yeah, but I think that's too soon. I wanted to reach out to the family.
Yeah, yeah. I'll get a hold of Yvonne Rio. I don't know where she lives, but yes, I'll be ready.
Yeah, so that'll be July 30th. And Chris, it's going to be your street that's being dedicated.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Are you going to do it out live on the next day? Did you say?
We will if the family will attend. If they're not, they're not in town or something like that, then we'll just do it at the Friday board meeting.
Got it. Okay.
Either way, we'll do it Friday, and then if the family's here, we'll do it on Saturday as well, on site.
Okay. Got it.
All right, great. Thanks, Hugh.
Okay.
All right. Do we have Jody? Anybody on the phone? Public comment?
There are no callers on the line right now.
All right. Anybody have anything they want to add before we move on?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, this is the part about changing the code that the school does not take applications for use of the park.
Oh, right. We have to have a public hearing on that.
I'm not against that, but I would like to make sure that the village administrator, prior to granting a permit, consults with the school, just saying, hey, listen, we got this on this date. You guys have a conflict. Because we did have one case apparently where the farmer's market was set up and some kids came over to play softball and couldn't because of the setup. So I would like to make sure that we codify that there is good communication between the administrator and the school. And frankly, the administrator should be the one that grants the permits, not the school. But to make sure that we coordinate with the school board to make sure that we're not having any conflicts.
Mr. Mayor, you want me to address that or?
Yes.
All right, so trustee, all we're doing today is removing from the code something that was contained in the deed for Herrick Park. And that deed covenant or deed requirement was that the school district had certain rights into the property for a certain period of time. That period of time has now expired. So it's inappropriate, frankly, for the village, unless there's some formal agreement, to give to anyone the right to control the use of its property, right, as you know. So all this does is it makes the code conform with the reality that the deed covenant is no longer applicable, or the deed language is no longer applicable. And what you do from there administratively is, of course, entirely up to the village.
Didn't we reach a new contract agreement with the school district on Herrick Park?
And not that I am aware of. If there is something, I'll be happy to examine it. But no, there's nothing right now in place that I am aware of.
I know it was discussed. I don't know if it was ever.
It didn't happen since I've been here, certainly. And I don't recall Beth informing me of that. She's very thorough in bringing me up to speed on what was pending and et cetera. So again, nothing I'm aware of. It would be on file with the village clerk, however, if it were. So we can inquire of the clerk.
And Tiger, just so you know, I do have a calendar that I share with Linda Hellberg that helps with all the events that she kind of pre-approves over there at the middle school.
All right.
All right. So we got to jump back because I missed the public hearing. So June.
You just had it.
Introductory number 13-2021, a proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton, Chapter 208-6, Parks and Recreation Regulations for Use of Park, to remove the requirement of applications for use of Herrick Park be filed with the East Hampton School District. Section 1, legislative intent, to remove the requirement of applications for use of Herrick Park to be filed with the East Hampton School District. Applications for use of Herrick Park will continue to be required by the Village of East Hampton.
All right. Any callers, Jody?
There are no callers on the line.
All right. Can I get a motion to close the hearing?
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. All right, that closes that. Public comment. All right, we're going to go into resolutions. June, could you start the?
Certainly. Number 1, approve claim vouchers for the month of June.
So moved.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 2, approve fund warrants as listed, general numbers 59, 62, and 63, trust number 58, LoSAP numbers 60 and 61, and capital number 64.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 3, approve budget transfer schedule number 7, reference number 13, dated June 15th, 2021.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 4, approve departmental reports.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 5, approve minutes from meetings held on February 4th, 19th, and 23rd, and March 4th and 19th of 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 6, adopt introductory number 13-2021 as local law 16-2021, hereby amending Chapter 208-6, Parks and Recreation Regulations for Use of Park, to remove the requirement of applications for use of Herrick Park be filed with the East Hampton School District.
So move.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to be a conditional no, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if I could be a conditional no, but I'm afraid that there is a contract with the school. I know we talked about it. And so I'll be a yes with the proviso that if there is a contract with the school, we do not modify this.
All right, so we have 4 yeses and a maybe. Passed and carried.
Number 7, notice for a public hearing to be held on July 30th, 2021 at 11 a.m. at the Emergency Services Building or via video conferencing if necessary, at which time all persons interested will be heard for introductory number 14-2021, a proposed amendment to Chapter 185, Licensed Occupations and Entertainment by adding Article 4, Caterers to address licensing requirements.
Can we discuss this a little bit? I know that we've had some conversation, but I'm wondering, they're talking about making sure that any caterer has a Suffolk County permit. Could we amend that to make any New York State health permit? I don't want to, there are a lot of people that really like using their New York City caterers out here. I don't want to disadvantage our local caterers, but I don't want to disadvantage the New York ones either.
The thing about that is when Chris and I met with all of the local caterers, that was one of the things they specifically asked for that exact reason, because the out-of-towners come in and take money out of their pockets, and that was a major concern for them. So we thought that was fair to keep the money local and keep the business local. So that's why that's in there.
All right.
So I didn't want
to. If the New Yorkers want to come out here, they can get a Suffolk permit, and then they'd be legal.
Correct.
Correct. They'd have to do that anyway.
Okay.
I think that's the health department code.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, Tiger, I agree with your premise, but I think you'd have to have the permit anyway to do business in Suffolk County. So they would need it anyway. So I don't think it's,
It's not hurting them much.
Exactly. If the city caterers wanted to cater an event out here, they would have to get Suffolk County approval regardless. So it's something that they'd have to do. Maybe we're helping them out. We're getting them the permit that they would need anyway.
And Tiger, as you just recently saw not too long ago with Governor, the executive order that he put out, that with COVID and the amount of people and contact tracing, that all of those special event permits would have to be approved, not just by, let's say, me, but it would have to be approved by the local health department. And that would be Suffolk County if they were planning on holding events here anyway.
Okay, then I'll make the motion.
All right. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 8, notice for a public hearing to be held.
Hold on a second. That was just a notice for a public hearing. So
you're right. Right.
Okay. All right. Next.
Okay. Number 8, notice for a public hearing to be held on July 30th, 2021 at 11 a.m. at the Emergency Services Building or via video conferencing if necessary, at which time all persons interested will be heard for introductory number 15-2021, a proposed amendment to Chapter 233 Sanitary Systems to require septic systems be replaced with IA systems upon failure.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And congratulations to Chris and the P&Z for putting this together. I know it was not easy to get there.
Thank you, Tiger. It wasn't.
Number 9, notice for a public hearing to be held on July 30th, 2021 at 11 a.m. at the Emergency Services Building at 1 Cedar Street or via video conferencing if necessary, at which time all persons interested will be heard for the proposed name change of Cross Road to Privet Lane.
So
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 10, notice the organizational meeting to be held on July 1st, 2021 at 11 a.m. at the Emergency Services Building, 1 Cedar Street, or via video conferencing if necessary, at which time all persons interested will be heard.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
I would like to just make a comment that I believe that the governor's executive order on the open meeting law is scheduled to expire on the 24th. He may yet renew that. But even if he does, if we can go to restaurants and have parades and meet at the beach all without masks on, I think that we should be able to conduct our in-person meetings, starting with that July 1st meeting at the Emergency Services Building.
Okay, did we, June, did we pass that number 10?
Yes. We did.
Okay, so next,
Number 11, deem as surplus and approved for sale by online auction items listed in David Collins' June 7th memo.
So move.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 12, accept the $12,850 proposal, which was lowest of two, received from MCD Finishes, Inc. to repair and paint the Village Hall fence.
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. And, okay, next,
Number 13, accept the $11,300 proposal, also the lowest of two, received from MCD Finishes, Inc. to repair and paint the sheepfold fence, and that's at Panagar Road, Gay Lane, Egypt.
So move.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. And I want to thank Marcos for getting this done. These two items have been on my agenda for quite a while, and because it's the fence surrounding Village Hall. It's falling apart. It really looks terrible, and it's been that way for a very long time. So I want to thank Marcos for finding that money to get this done. And the same with the sheepfold fence. This is a historic site, and it's just left falling apart, and it's disgraceful. So I'm glad that we are, as a board, getting this done. Thanks, Marcos.
Thank you.
Number 14, accept new member Geraldine Marola of the Ambulance Association as per Chief Chard's June 2nd memo.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 15, reject all May 25th bids received for the replacement of the Village Hall fence.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 16, adopt resolution number 44-2021 to authorize the transfer of $450,576 from the general fund to the trust fund for the fire department length of service award program.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 17, adopt resolution number 45-2021 to authorize the transfer of $108,426 from the general fund to the trust fund for the ambulance length of service award program.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 18, employ seasonal beach employees, Delania Healy, beach staff at $13 hourly, Matthew Burns and Chloe Collette as substitute lifeguards at $18.50 hourly, effective June 19th, 2021, and that's per a June 8th email from Jamie Telp.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 19, accept Michael Esposito as a new member of the Fire Department Engine Company Number 2, and that's as per Chief Terz's June 14th memo.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 20, approve status change for Fire Department Company Number 1 members John Ryan Jr. and John Tarbett to active exempt, effective retroactively to June 2nd, 2021, as per Chief Terz's June 14th memo.
So moved.
Motion to accept.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 21, approve the reimbursement of reasonable and necessary expenses incurred for 3 police officers to attend the August 23rd to 28th, 2021 New York Tactical Training Conference and Expo in Verona, New York, at an approximate cost of $3,299.97.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
I'll even give him the extra 3 cents to get to 3,300.
1 cent per person.
Number 22, authorized to enter into a contract amendment with Saunders Broadcasting Corp. to add additional Wi-Fi services for village residents and to clarify login issues.
So move.
Second.
Who seconded?
I did.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 23, adopt resolution number 46-2021 to amend the 2020-2021 budget to increase estimated revenue and appropriations in the amount of $310,233.74 related to additional monthly beach parking revenue.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 24, accept the $10,000 proposal received, lower of two submitted, from 929 Media to provide a video for the upcoming centennial.
So move.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 25, accept the $10,000 proposal received, also the lower of two submitted, from 929 Media to provide a travel and tourism village video for the village.
Before we vote on this, I just wanted to ask, this is going to be like a 90-second video that goes on the website?
Correct, Tiger. It's more like 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay, why are we not partnering with the Chamber of Commerce on this?
We're partnering operationally, but I mean, in terms of funds, they don't have it.
Plus, it'll be on our website, not on theirs.
Right.
All right, I'm not sure that it's necessary, but
Yeah,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
I vote for it, but I'd also like to say is that people that come to use our website needs videos and it needs some updating. And a lot of people do go to our website to check for forms and a lot of things. So again, if you look at Southampton and East Hampton Town's websites, they're much farther along than us. So I do think a little bit of money to invest in the website to make it look nice would go a long way.
I agree.
I thought we had that in the works. We were putting up a new website.
Yeah, but
Yes.
we need the content for the website. Like the website doesn't, there still needs to be videos and content for the website. So I think it would add a lot to it. And again,
Yeah,
all the
Marcos-
other villages have this.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. Marcos is working on the website. It should be up next week, you're thinking, Marcos?
It'll be for July 1st. We've actually just shipped all of the information. We had to do it via hard drive, Tiger, because it took us, I think when we met on Tuesday, that it took us so long just to extract all the property information and documents that we want to house. So we had to overnight it to California. So now they're going to upload it. And by then we should be ready for July 1st. And I think that's when your board photos are as well. So
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, so we had a motion, we had a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Okay, this was an addendum. Deem as surplus and approve the sale by online auction of 45 obsolete Ambulance Association pagers as per Chief Chard's June 4th memo.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. So that concludes our meeting today. We are going to go into executive session, talk about real estate, and if there's anything we need to come back on, we'll come back on, and I'll let the media know. So can I get a motion to close this meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is closed. Thank
Thank
you. See you
you.
in executive session.